Well, what a morning so far. It has been full of stuff. Lots of stuff I can't share with you guys. A lot of it revolves around Red Tractor and the hoops we're having to jump through to keep Red Tractor Man happy, because he's coming to see me on July the 1st. It is Tuesday, 24th of June, and we've just finished the meeting with the agronomist, going through all the chemical store, going through all the chemical that Reg has got in that store, because obviously he's been doing my spraying, so part of the Red Tractor inspection will be Reg's. Going through inspection dates on machinery, going through batch numbers on chemicals and dates and stuff. When he comes, we've got the list of questions he's going to go through, so I'll basically list of subjects, and I'm pretty sure that some of those subjects will have 10 questions, and there's loads of it. So we're basically working our way from top to bottom of the list of stuff we need to do to comply with everything the Red Tractor Man's going to ask me. Now, a lot of it is not going to be relevant to me this year, because this is my first year and it is basically a brand new corn store. So the amount of stuff that I have to do is limited. I've got to do my pest control stuff. All that's got to be filled in. And I got to do some of my other certification stuff. I've got to make sure everything's up to date, and it's all kind of fair enough, and most of the stuff I have to do is relevant, but there are a few things that are kind of, why is there a hoop I have to jump through for that, and why have you got to set fire to it first? Anyway, we're on our way over to the corn store. We have got to get in there. Basically everything's got to be cleaned out. We have got a little bit of seed barley left in there because we didn't quite use it all. That cannot stay in there, that's got to come out, because that cannot live in the same barn as the crop. Or in there now, but it can't stay in there, so that's coming out of there. And then Reg and I are going to go through odds and sods on, I think what's going to happen, he's going to come in with a sprayer, and we're going to use the sprayer as basically a bowser, and get in there and pressure wash, not today, but we have to get in there and pressure wash the whole thing out and make sure it's as clean as we possibly can make it. So yeah, it's an adventure for sure. Oh yeah, and while I'm thinking about it, we recalculated how much muck was bought over here. It wasn't 300 tons. Reg put one of his loads over the weighbridge. He had 14.5 tons on the trailer, allegedly, and he said, and that wasn't one of the bigger loads, and we had 29 loads. That equates to over 400 tons down there. And bearing in mind how dry it's been, that's not high moisture content, so it's not like half of it's water. In other words, it's a lot of shit. That's another job that needs completing. I need to get that in there. But probably while it's windy, trying to roll the teram out and keep it down and do that, I'll wait for a quieter day. Anyway, these have got to come out. These are my brothers. He's coming to fetch them. Basically, we've pretty much got to empty it, brush it, wash it. That's the way to do it. Take their bags out, stick them in the bucket. Yeah. Well, there's nothing wrong with them, is there?
No, don't worry.
Just leave them in the out the sun. They'll be fine.
You bring your tractor and trailer over. You put the 3 bells on. You can leave your tractor at the farm and try and get an exhaust pipe done at the same time.
All right.
You're not using your tractor like this.
No, I don't think there's anything I got to use it for.
You've got a bit of muck spread, or you're all right done?
No, that won't be until I've cut the pigeon meat. That's going to be a few weeks yet.
That's it. It's at the moment we got a bit of time to ourselves.
Yeah, all right, we can do that. Yeah. Right, you're going to grab that one?
Yeah, grab that one.
Yeah.
And,
I'll chuck them out. So yeah, so it's not just the floor we got to wash. All this dust off the sides, cobwebs, all the way around. It's probably going to take a couple of days for it to dry out. So I think it might be really empty the place right out, get everything out, and we'll have to leave the door open. Probably not overnight, but during the days, we'll have a couple of days, let the air get in here and dry it out. But yeah, we've still got quite a bit of soil on the floor from when we had the plough, the drill, and everything else in here. That's got to be clean enough to eat your breakfast off, that has. Nearly. There you got it. There you go. Right, we've got to get that out, elephant nose. We've got to get those 3 bells out. I think the plan is, Reg said, is I'll come over with my tractor. I could do it with a little trailer, actually. We've got some welding to do on my tractor exhaust. Right, that's that sorted out. It's not going to take very long to clean that out, to be honest. So Reg has got a big sweeper brush to go on the front of the Manitou. Goes on that, not that bucket, that's the grain bucket, goes on the other bucket. So we'll get 90% of it with that. So yeah, I'm not going to say it's going to be easy. It ain't going to be that hard. Right, I've got all my paperwork, all my spray stuff, all my chemical records, all my everything else records, all in the books, because Reg had some of it over here, so we decided to put it all in one place in my yellow folder. That's my barley folder for this year. That's all the paperwork I need in there for that crop out there. Yeah. Right, I've just done tonight's upload. Finished all my other bits and bobs. I'm now off to go and do 2 wasp nests at 2 different addresses. Back here tomorrow, I think we're over to Regis tomorrow. We're over to the barn, start clearing at the barn. And we're also going to take my tractor over, move those 3 bales. I think I'm going to be leaving my tractor at Regis, because I think Thursday is supposed to be a wet day, and we're going to do a wet day job, which is basically taking the stack off of my tractor and the exhaust and welding it up. That's the plan if the weather does what the weatherman says it's going to do. If it doesn't, well, then we may be doing something else. I'm home. That's 3 sets of jaspers dealt with. So I think the last nest was probably the riskiest. I had to climb up a ladder and get into like a barn loft, and the nest was inside a cardboard box. I had to get a bit up close and personal, and they were those little wasps, you know, the little angry buggers. So you tend to find that the smaller the wasp, the nastier the temper. Proper, you know, small man syndrome they get. But yeah, I got away with it. Yeah, the owner is quite allergic and didn't want to come anywhere near. Mind you, neither did his wife or daughter. They kind of safe distance job. But anyway, all done, all dealt with. I'm just coming down to check on what's going on down here. They've got plenty left in there. That's okay. So we've actually opened up both sides of the barn. You know, I cleaned it all out in there. All that side had been cleaned out, nice, squeaky clean. But the cattle kept coming up and standing in the gateway up here around the water tank. And some of them were getting pretty warm, so I have opened it back up again. So I basically cleaned it out for nothing. Nearly. But, right, well, they're not giving that bale much of a hiding. I know it's not the best stuff, but if they were hungry, they would be destroying that. I know I say it every day. I'm just letting you know they're not hungry. Although it looks a bit sparse out there, they've all got their heads down. They're all eating something. It's just not the nicest stuff. I mean, they're not on the chalky cake. They're kind of on the last week's toast. But it's doing the job. And there's not much I can do about it until we get some rain. And there's maybe a bit Thursday, I hope. What are you doing down there? Are you on the other side? No, she's on the other. Cow down there, she's in the other field. So instead of walking down to the gate and then back up, she's just going to stand there looking over the fence. Well, I want to be with my friends. Oh, there's 2 of them. Well, just walk that way a bit and then that way a bit, and you can... Oh, well. Right, it is coming up to 7:10. I'm going to peel an orange and eat it. And then I'm going to go up the house and probably... What am I going to do? I've done most of my red tractor stuff for the day. I've gone through the list of that. There is a few things I've got to do. I've got to do my pest management paperwork, but I've kind of got to be in the mood for that. Won't take very long, but I just need to be in the mood for it. But other than that, I think we are more or less up to date. So we'll be over the barn tomorrow, if it all goes to plan. Having a jolly good sweep out, so you'll see the Manitou again tomorrow. Probably my tractor. I'm going to go down to Sam's cottage, pick up the trailer that they filled up with their rubbish, bloody brambles and ivy and stuff like that. We'll take that back up on the burn site. So I bring it home and put it for the shredder, but it's a long way. It's a long way. Besides that, I want an empty trailer because I've got 3 bales of hay over there. And if I tip the rubbish off, I can go in there. I don't think they'll eat the orange peel. They'll probably have a look at it and maybe pick it up and go, and then they'll go, yeah. So I might pick up those 3 bales out of the barn. I think they'll fit on my dump trailer. Hope they'll fit on my dump trailer. If not, Reg might have to carry one home. Where there's a will, there's a way. And yeah, tomorrow we start the process of cleaning the barn out, ready for this year's barley, which we hope is going to make the malting grade, but we don't know. I love these. I don't want that in there. Who put that in there? That one's going in the fire. Put bloody ragwort in there. I don't think the flowers are set, but I definitely don't want to fill compost up with a ragwort seed. That would be stupid. Oh, and in answer to all the comments about how nice it would be to put another nice big barn out there, I absolutely, totally agree with you. It would be fantastic. I have a vision. Hang on, I'm just going to get rid of this brick that I just pulled out the compost. I have a vision of another big barn, same size as that one. So 100 foot by 40 foot in there, up against that hedge. And then maybe some bunkers over there. Or even the barn over there and the bunkers over there. But I think the barn over there with its back to the road would be the best thing. Nice big yard, you know, firewood, straw, machinery, all under cover. Might happen one day, maybe. Right, well, before I call it a night, I think we'll shoot up, just walk over the road up Pigeonmead and have a look at the grass over there. I'm not expecting a lot of bottom in it. The top end of the field will be better than the bottom end, so when we go in the gate, that will be the worst part. So nothing will be worse than that, but yeah. Rain. A few days rain, and then a bit of sunshine. Then that'd be good. Oh, that looks thin, doesn't it? Even with 600 kilos of fertiliser on it, it never really got washed in. It's gonna have a wonder. Oh my goodness. That reminds me of the old joke. One of my dad's favourite jokes when we had the pub years ago. Have you heard of the Oomie bird? Oomie bird's got no legs. And every time he comes into line, you can hear him, he goes, "Ooh, me ghoulies." Well, it's funny then. Never mind. Yeah. Not even worth sniffing this with the mower yet. A lot of our finer grass species are not really coming at all. Ryegrass is surviving, buttercups are surviving, some of the fescues are kind of okay. The Timothy, yeah, not that happy. Yeah, this will be lawn clippings again if I cut it now.